one of the few black CEOs in corporate America is stepping down this summer. Kenneth Frazier, he's been head of Merck since 2011. Now, he's going to stay on as executive chairman. Right now, I know this is extraordinary, he's the only black CEO in the Dow 30. And his successor at Merck is a white man. Frazier's departure will bring the number of black CEOs in Fortune 500 companies, that, 3. Now, looking in London, and it's even worse on the London Stock Exchange. For the first time in 6 years, there are none, black CEOs or CFOs of a FTSE 100 company, according to a new study by Green Park. The percentages of black executive directors and non-directives also dropped. Trevor Phillips is the chair of Green Park. Trevor joins me now. OK, how have we got to this rather dreadful situation?
Good evening from London, Richard. Well, I think it's taken some time, and to be absolutely frank, it feels like an act of malign genius to get to this place, because you're probably better at maths than I am, but the odds of this happening are really, really tiny, you know, 1 in several million. How do we get there? Well, I think the reason we got to this is because technically a couple of companies dropped out of the index. But more importantly, I think what has happened is that talented young black people have joined big companies. They have looked up to the top of the pyramid, and they have worked out that that is not where they're going. And what they've done from our side of the pond is that they have simply walked out and come to America, where I think, in spite of the numbers I think you've given, it's better, frankly.
All right, but Trevor,
or they've set up on business themselves.
Trevor, when you say they look up and they see sort of just a white mountain ahead, is that because of institutionalized racism? Is that structural problems? I mean, it's a similar sort of issue in terms of, you know, for women, that if you don't give the brakes further down, if you don't sort of create the environment. But when it comes to colour, I mean, we're talking about something different. It's not like everybody's taking 6 months off for maternity or whatever. You know, so what is the reason why the black people do not rise up the ranks?
Well, I think, to be absolutely straightforward about it, I've got a lot of heat in here for the last 48 hours because I referred, when we launched this, to the Vanilla Boys Club in the boardroom. What I meant by that is not some sort of piece of race abuse, but simply that a lot of the top companies' boardrooms are full of people who know each other, like each other, operate in the same way, speak the same language. They are uncomfortable with anybody who comes from a different background, and you know what that means in this country, Richard. It's a very small ruling elite, and anybody who comes from outside who doesn't automatically feel like he belongs will have a tough time. And I think what happens is a lot of these young executives say, I'm just not going to fit. I'm not going to make it.
So what's the answer?
Invest?
What's the answer? Is the answer is it quotas?
No. I think that the first and most important thing is that the chairs and of the board and the chair of the nominations committee have to break up the boys club. They have to say, look, next time we have a vacancy, we're genuinely going to look for talent, whatever shape and whatever package it comes in. We're not going to just look for the kind of guy that we recognize because he's a bit like us. Secondly, they need to think about how they behave. Right. And do they behave in a way that this different kind of person would feel comfortable at the board table? So those are the first two things that have got to happen.
Trevor, we'll talk more. We'll review this every so often during the course of this year to make sure. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.